Welcome to JMO, Josh and Joe. It is Tuesday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day out there to all the lovebirds. And Joe, congratulations to the Kansas City fucking Chiefs, Super Bowl champions.
You're pretty excited about that one, huh?
I'm so fucking happy about it right now. You don't even know.
I didn't even know you were that big of a Chiefs fan.
Dude, it's just, it came over me. I don't know. It's like, hey, what would it be like to, watch Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback for, just the past 5 years and then the next, 10 years? Oh, I want to know what that's like. So I made a Chiefs shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
If you watch YouTube, you could probably see it. But I made a Chiefs shirt. I bet I had 7 or 8 bets placed, all on the Chiefs.
All on the Chiefs.
All on the Chiefs. I didn't have one single bet on the Eagles.
I'd like to point out your bets too. I mean, especially in the age of where the sports gambling bets betting apps.
Mm-hmm.
How did you place your bets?
That's a good question that we didn't really need to bring up. That was not necessary.
No, it's cool. It's cool though.
Fine. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I may or may not have had a little bit of a gambling issue with the sportsbook apps. It made it way too easy for me to just get on and bet $1,000 and lose it all in 15 minutes. So yes, I have a little bit of a problem.
Well, I can kind of say this from other, with confidence that other people share this same problem.
Okay, yeah, so what I did about it was I just quit sportsbook apps.
Yeah.
So I don't download any sportsbook apps. If I want to place a bet on a sports game, I have to drive down to the casino, place the bets.
It's about a 45-minute drive.
Yeah. And then when I win, if I win, I have to drive back down to the casino to collect my money. So essentially what it does is it makes it a lot less, it's harder to bet the games, okay? So yeah, I have a problem, okay? You want to break me down? That's fine. Make fun of me? Whatever. I have to go to the casino to place bets because I have no self-control when it comes to fucking the sportsbook apps.
Well, like I said, a lot of people share in this same problem, and I know this because you drive by on the interstate and there's those 1-800 got gambling problems or something like that. One of those catchy slogans.
I almost called that number.
You almost called it?
Almost.
Okay.
Anyways, let's get to the fucking game. The fucking Super Bowl. I don't care if you're an Eagles fan, Chiefs fan, or just a regular football fan. That game was fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're gonna start with We're going to start at the beginning, okay? We'll get to the second half. We'll get to the last 2 minutes. But we're going to start at the beginning, okay? If you think, if you're pissed off at this game, that's because you're stupid and you have not been just basically on the internet in the last, month and a half, 2 months.
Okay.
The NFL is scripted, okay? We know this. We've been talking about this for a long time. Betting on the NFL is not betting on the game. You're betting on the script. It's like betting on the fucking Bachelor. If you do Fantasy Bachelor, you're betting on the Bachelor. You're betting on a script. You're not betting on the actual show itself because everything is planned out from the beginning to the end. So you're betting on the NFL script.
Yeah, it's all a lie. It's the reality TV show. Yeah, no, it's a lie.
No, it's just giant lie that Hollywood just puts in your face and wants you to spend a lot of money on. Okay, so if you lose and you blame it on the NFL rigged, that's your fault. You should have been betting on the NFL script, not the NFL game itself. Now back to the game. Awesome fucking game. This was one of those games where, if you bet the over, you're an idiot, and I'm considering myself in that category because I did bet the. The under. If you bet the under, you're an idiot.
Yes.
And I'm in that category because I bet the under.
Yeah.
It was scoring all over the place. Andy Reid might be the best second half adjustment coach of all time. Bill Belichick's up there, obviously. I'm not taking away from John Madden or anything like that, but Andy Reid has to be in the conversation of best second half adjustments of all time.
Oh, I mean, they didn't they didn't go on with a possession without scoring in the second half.
In the second, yeah, they every possession they had, they scored.
It was
now,
touchdown.
granted, they had help from their special teams, which was nice.
Yep.
But I before we get to the game, I want to acknowledge something. Okay, Jalen Hurts, he's a real deal. He's good. The Eagles are the best at quarterback sneaking. Tom Brady has passed the torch from him to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can quarterback sneak like anybody I've ever seen. It's insane. And obviously it has a lot to do with that offensive line. But
Well, it's funny that you say that because that play was literally unstoppable for the Eagles. And it's one of those things where it's a boring play, but it just works. And like good coaches, and Nick Sirianni is definitely a good coach. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But, they prefer boring than boring and get it done rather than get fancy. Some coaches can get away with it, like your Andy Reid's, but yeah, Eagles were 2 for 2 on quarterback sneaks on 4th down, 3 for 3 on 3rd down, and they got 2 touchdowns out of quarterback sneaks with Jalen Hurts.
these were all, I just want to note that these were all 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1. So it was
not the 2 touchdowns. The 2 touchdowns weren't 3rd or 4th down, but the 2 for 2 on 4th down and 3 for 3 on 3rd down. Yeah.
Right, yes, that's what I meant. It was 1 yard. So I'm talking about that push from the offensive line is incredible.
Yeah, and there was one time on 3rd and 1 where they did not get it, and that was because of a false start. So Chiefs technically never stopped them.
No, they didn't.
They never stopped them. They just shot themselves in the foot one time.
Absolutely. So yeah, again, congrats to the city of Kansas City, the Chiefs. Dude, the Chiefs fans are so fucking spoiled. It's like you have Mahomes. You got at least another 6-7 years of this to look forward to. Every single year. 2 Super Bowls in 5 years. Mahomes was MVP of both of them. There really wasn't he only had 182 yards. It wasn't like it was a crazy performance, but he was the best player on the best team, if that makes any sense. I honestly thought maybe Pacheco should have been in consideration at least, because he had some great fucking breakout runs at necessary times.
I think if this was Mahomes is 3rd or 4th or 5th Super Bowl championship, I think the MVP would have gone to somebody else. Remember that year, year when Edelman won it?
Yeah,
because there wasn't anybody who was too spectacular, but they didn't want to give it to Tom Brady again. So if this was later down the road of Patrick Mahomes' career, I feel like Pacheco or Kadarius Toney or Travis Kelce would have gotten the MVP on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, Kadarius Toney actually had a decent. He had a decent second half. Travis Kelce, I bet that he would get multiple touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He had that one beautiful touchdown at first, and then he just never. I really was confident about that bet. I had him getting multiple touchdowns.
Well, see, the problem was he had that one where he had that touchdown, and then every time they were in the red zone, it seemed like they were double and triple teaming him, which hence why they could not, for the life of the Eagles secondary, cover the man in motion.
No, they could not. and it was a great. That was a great audible by fucking Andy Reid. Mm-hmm. He noticed that, and he's like, all right, but I remember they had 2 plays in the second half, which we'll get. We gotta actually talk about the game, but players were wide open for touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Wide open.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the first quarter. First quarter, I think they kind of set the tone for the game with that Justin Reed hit on Devontae Smith, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Justin Reed. I mean, it was a legal hit. He popped him good. Everybody was fucking pumped up. It was awesome. Set the tone for the game. And then, it was a very clean game. There was only 1 sack. Mm-hmm. And that was just because Jalen Hurts ran out of bounds 1 yard before the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And it was again, it's always a shame when the refs get involved late, but they were letting them play. Mm-hmm. There was definitely holding calls that could have been called, but weren't called, and they were doing that all day. It was consistent.
Yeah, which is very surprising given the crew that was there. I don't know the name of the head referee and his crew, but they had been known for the past few years of calling the most flags, and they definitely pulled a wild card on this one and let them play.
Do you think it was part of the script, though? They knew if they called it too tight, then the Eagles would win?
Probably part of the script. Maybe the under was getting betted a lot. So Vegas had a little hand in this one, like, hey, under's getting bet. I don't know what the stats is on that, but I feel like, well,
I didn't see the numbers.
I'm trying to think what would be the stats if a lot of flags were thrown in the game. Would the under or the over hit?
The under would definitely hit.
You think the under would hit?
Oh yeah, there's no momentum in the game.
It would stagnate the offense.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. What?
I was gonna say the other adverse side to it is if you get like pass interference calls, and then the offense moves down the field with ease.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like a lot of it's going to be like holding calls and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, especially on run plays, on and pass plays too. But like, there's going to be the holding calls, up at the line of scrimmage, down the field. It's again, you can call pass interference on almost any call or any play. Mm-hmm. So the Eagles score easily on the first drive. I was shitting my pants. I'm like, this cannot get this out of hand this quickly. Then the Chiefs come back and answer, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense. This is the number 1 and the number 2 offense.
Yeah,
this is why they're here.
Yes.
So then I'm like, okay, so I settle in. I'm a little bit happier. I'm okay with it, you know. Mm-hmm. Then like, shout out to everyone who bet the doink. I love it. It was like one of the sportsbook apps I saw. It was like 96% of people bet doink.
Yes. Yep. I had that. I was very surprised that the odds was only plus 450 to plus 500.
For what? The doink?
For the doink.
Yeah. I mean, I should have bet a doink. Come on. That's like a fun bet.
I feel like Harrison Buckner was probably the reason why the odds were low.
That's true. He was due for a doink.
Yeah, he's one that he doinks. He doinks his field goals. I think it has been multiple times he's done this.
Yeah. So AJ Brown, that AJ Brown touchdown, though, that's when I started getting really, really nervous. I'm like, okay, see, Philadelphia's got dogs. They got dogs all over their fucking squad. Yeah. And I thought they were just going to wear on the Chiefs. But then again, this is me being a fallible human being, and I forgot about Andy Reid.
Yeah.
You know, I made a mistake. I doubted the Chiefs because I completely forgot about Andy Reid. Mm-hmm. He's unbelievable. And then Hurts had the fumble.
Yeah, this is the big part because, you know, obviously we have the controversial call at the end. Well, I know we're going to talk more about that. But with a game being this tight and this close, like, you know, it was going to be this close. These teams evenly matched up very well. Everybody knew it was going to be a close game. Like, it really does, like, limit the margin of error that each team has. And I think this was the biggest deal because, I mean, if you think about it, the Eagles weren't really getting stopped up until this point.
No, they had their way with the Chiefs' defense.
Yeah, so, like, this fumble was a huge momentum changer because I think this game, I firmly think this game is 21-7 instead of 14-14.
Agreed.
Without that fumble.
Agreed. And that makes it different at halftime, too. Yep. It was probably 24-7.
Actually, I had it marked down. It would have been 31-14.
31-14?
Because it was 24-14. It would have been 31-14.
Completely changed. Because, yeah, you're right. It completely changed the momentum of the game. Completely changed everything. Even with that said, the Eagles still had a 10-point lead at halftime.
Yeah.
Like, if you're an Eagles fan at halftime, you're looking at Rihanna like, oh my gosh, you're amazing because we're about to win this fucking game.
Yeah, your face is shining bright like a diamond.
Like a fucking diamond.
Yes.
And that's a Super Bowl diamond.
Yes.
Yeah, so we might as well get, this is how I wanted to do it. I wanted to talk about the first half and then talk about the halftime show. But yeah, they had Eagles had a 10-point lead at halftime. If you're an Eagles fan right now, you're like, at that point, you're feeling good. Mm-hmm. You're feeling good. Rihanna comes out. She's pregnant. That was the guest star.
Yeah, that's quite a pregnant announcement right there. You know?
You wanna talk about? Yeah, she could have done a gender reveal there too.
I was about to say. Yeah,
I'm surprised she didn't. I'm surprised like the fireworks at the end of the halftime show weren't like pink or blue.
Yeah.
That would have been ultimate.
Yeah, that would have probably actually she would have probably done the world a favor because that would have probably topped all gender reveals.
Yeah, and then you can't do gender reveals.
You can't do gender reveals at all. She could have stopped it.
She could have done the world a favor.
Yes.
Stop gender reveals.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're about it. But anyways, let's talk about the halftime show. I know a lot. There's been a lot of criticism, but let's be honest. There's always a lot of criticism when it comes to halftime shows. She did. I think a lot of it was like she performed well, like her voice sounded good, but there wasn't much to it. It was just a bunch of marshmallows dancing. That's essentially what it was. Like,
yeah.
And she obviously had her get up was showing her belly and blah blah blah. And she, again, like I said, she sounded good. I loved it because I'm a huge Rihanna fan. She's basically my queen. That's who, like, in the mid 2000s when I was in high school and college. She was just like the voice of an angel for me.
Yeah.
That was it.
And like you said, some people have been knocking on it because it was boring or whatnot. But I enjoyed it because like I felt like we weren't just getting shoved with a bunch of shit like the entire time. Like, you know, the last couple of years we've been like, saying, hey, this person is the headliner, and then we've got like 50 other artists that jump on stage and they like every time it seems like everybody's trying to throw as much stuff on stage as they can.
Right, and it was just Rihanna.
But this was just Rihanna. It highlighted just Rihanna and her songs and such. Even though I really did think Kanye was about to jump on stage when
that
all
would
of
have
the
been
lights
hilarious.
came on. But
I know
yeah.
a lot of people wanted Jay-Z to run this town, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted the same thing. But again, like I think it was good she kept it consistent.
Yes.
Now, granted, if you thought it was boring, I completely understand. And if you thought it sucked, I completely understand. Like a lot of these Super Bowl halftime shows, the problem with them is people have such high fucking standards for these things when they have basically 15 minutes to perform. Mm-hmm. They have less time than that to set up the fucking stage, and then they have less time than that to take it down. So like you're literally setting up a fucking you're setting up a concert in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is it's a feat in and of itself that they can get this done like they can. The amount of planning that goes into these halftime shows has to be absolutely insane. It's got to be perfect. Like I mean, down to a millisecond of like planning.
Yeah.
So whatever. I liked it. I know I'm one of the few, and I'm a little biased. One thing I did want to say is the stage. It looked like Super Mario Smash Bros. A stage from Super Mario Smash Bros.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah?
come on.
Okay.
Like you saw like you had the flat level and then you had the 3 levels come up and then 1 level up here.
They had 1 level on top, one of the Aladdin Stormtrooper dancers actually almost fell off of that elevated surface. I don't know if you caught that.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, if you go check it out, he almost whiffed and like fell off the entire elevated platform.
Oh my god.
That would have been some drama right there.
That would have been cray.
Yes.
Anyways, whew. But yeah, if you look at the stage, it looks like a Mario Super Smash Bros. So he might have got hit with the
Smash Bros. For some reason, I was thinking Mario Kart. I was like, what?
No,
Smash Bros. That's totally yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He probably got hit with a turtle shell and almost fell off.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, okay. Rihanna pooped out a turtle shell and almost hit him.
But
okay. All right. Yeah. So, what did you think about the halftime show? I mean, like it was. You know.
I thought it was good. I like how Rihanna asked for her money in a very demanding way at the very beginning of the show. You know, making sure that Roger Goodell paid her.
Yeah. Oh, that of course.
You know,
I mean, she's a boss. So,
addressed him as bitch.
Yep.
Bitch better have my money.
Yep. Appropriate.
I will have to say, so this kid that she gives birth to, he's gonna have to be she's gonna have to be a superstar. Right? Or a performer.
It's going to be super in front of his or her name.
Well, it's going to probably, yes. The stage name's probably going to have a super in front of it. Also, they have those theories of, like, if you listen to Mozart while you're pregnant, like, your baby's smart. Like she did a whole halftime performance while like she was pregnant. This baby's it's going to just ooze with like,
that baby's gonna be gangster.
It's gonna be gangster, performer.
Actually,
like
yeah, you're right. That baby's gonna be like the best performer of all time. She's gonna have a great voice, just great acting, everything. It's gonna be great.
Either that or an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Because she was just like like the baby was just bouncing all everywhere. Over the place. Yeah,
those memes are kind of funny. They had like the alien just like bouncing around, and those are good. And
the internet's gonna have its way.
And honestly, that's why I love the Super Bowl halftime show so much. It's I like the memes. The memes that come out are fun. All right, let's get to the second half.
Yep.
I want to talk about the grass. The grass sucked.
Yeah.
They need to play on turf. I'm just going to go ahead and say that they need to play on turf. Everyone's sliding everywhere.
Yeah, it's not a good look when you're, the NFL, a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you can't get the grass right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. I think, I know a lot of people, don't like turf because of the injuries, but I think it's the best performance you're going to get out of a player. It's fast.
Yeah. I think the only good thing about the grass is now it actually takes away from the fact that the Superdome, lights went out that one Super Bowl, so it shifts all the attention from that.
We're never gonna get over that ever. The Superdome.
But that was scripted. That was obviously scripted.
Oh yeah. Well,
Baltimore can come back.
As we know, it's all of it's scripted.
Yeah, but that was so now it makes sense that the lights went out so that it would be an extended halftime, so San Fran could cool down and Baltimore can make a comeback.
Exactly. So like we said, Andy Reid best at halftime adjustments. Dude, they had players wide open on offense. They like we said, they scored on every drive. I will say this: that 2-point conversion that the Eagles had, where Jalen Hurts ran it in. Mm-hmm. That was all Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Because he got hit well before the goal line, and he just kept powering through. I kind of want to say he's a dog. I kind of want to, but he always loses a championship. And I know he had a championship at Alabama, but that's because Tua did everything. He just came in when Tua got hurt.
Yeah, that's true. But, no, I agree. Jalen Hurts, honestly, was the best player on the field this entire game.
Agreed. He was. He was the best player on the field.
I mean, I had the stats, 21 of 38, 304 yards, touchdown, and 15 carries, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns. The only problem was the fumble. Yeah. But other than that,
and here's the thing with the fumble, he got right back up the next drive and went down and scored.
Yes.
So, it wasn't like he wasn't fazed by it. So, I still hate the Eagles. This is going to be something that's going to take a long time for me to get over. I'm starting to respect Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
I hate Alabama, and we destroyed him at Oklahoma when he was at Oklahoma. But I'm starting to I have to have. I can't hate the guy. He's like the most unhateable guy on the planet.
Yeah.
It's just he's in an Eagles uniform.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. But I mean, even now I can't. Let's see. Let's get to the holding call. Might as well. I mean, because it was just back and forth the whole time. The holding call, it was bad. But what's worst is James Bradbury cannot admit it.
He can't admit it?
No, he cannot.
Okay.
No, you can't admit. You saw he admitted that it was a holding after the game.
Well, yeah, that's scripted.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, he saw the second half script. He saw the second half script. He's it's going to be a bad holding call, and it's but you're going to have to admit it on Twitter.
No, he admitted it in the press conference of that.
Or the press conference, whatever. He admitted it somehow.
You have to give Philadelphia fans something to hold on to. When you admit that, they can't complain about anything.
Well, I think it's more on the fact that, they had to write that into the scripts because they had, for the sake of the NFL refs' lives.
So so the NFL has learned. The writers have learned.
They have learned,
They have to include that so that the city of Philadelphia doesn't just go on mass genocide.
Yeah, exactly. So, like...
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, they
I
know.
like that better, actually.
I mean, for any other fan base, you don't really have to include that in. But for Philly... You've got to throw that in because, I mean, it's a life or death situation here.
Right. Okay, so if James Bradbury had not admitted to it, there would be multiple deaths by now. Okay.
By the refs. Or from the refs.
Like, the rest would be dead.
Yes.
Okay.
There would be multiple
cool.
refs down.
But it was a bad call. If you're gonna like in all seriousness, if you're going to let the game go like you have been all fucking game, you can't be ticky tacky whenever it comes down to the last 2 minutes, which is what they fucking were.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Like it's almost like everybody knew it was coming. Like it was the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, you're just like, all right, where's the refs? Where's the refs? Where's the refs? You knew they were coming. It was like I could feel it almost.
Yeah.
And I didn't know which way it was going to go. I didn't know the script. I bet the script correctly. I bet the Chiefs. I say it. I bet the Chiefs money line. And I think this is where my luck's going to change. Like
it's changing?
Everybody faded me and I won. Like that was my big bet. Yeah, I put a couple of little prop bets, but my main bet was the Chiefs money line. And it hit. So I think my fortunes have turned around. Now, watch, next time I bet, I'm going to fucking lose. But for right now, I'm a fucking winner. I'm a fucking winner. Last thing I have is, the Juju trolling Juju Smith-Schuster trolling Eagles fans with that, I'll hold you when it matters most. The Valentine
the Valentine.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
And then it's funny whenever the retaliation with A.J. Brown calling him a TikTok boy.
TikTok boy.
Yep.
Fuck him. Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster can suck it. Like, I liked him during that game, especially like when Andy Reid started getting him involved more in the second half. Mm-hmm. It was great. And I was like, oh, I like you right now. And then the game ended, and I went back to hating Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
I didn't like him.
I feel like Kansas City's just not going to even like him after this. I don't think they're going to bring him back.
No. They're going to go get somebody else, which they should. They got Jackson Mahomes. That's enough. Like, fuck. You got anything else on the Super Bowl?
I think that's about it.
Okay, great fucking game. That was entertaining from start to finish. Like, historically, Super Bowls have been terrible games.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
How hurt do you think Mahomes was playing this game? I know he got hurt during the game.
Better question is, what drugs did they shoot him up with? Because that's what I want.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I will say this. Mahomes is a tough motherfucker.
He is.
He played through I'm sure he had a high ankle sprain. I'm sure there was more to it. He re-aggravated it during the game. Like, the motherfucker played through it. And, like, I don't want to take anything away because, you know, everybody's going to say, oh, he got shot up with so much dope that he didn't fucking feel it. When you get shot up with that much dope, it fucks with your mind, too. Like, it's not just your body. It fucks with your mind, too. It fucks with your mobility. You're not used to it, okay? So, like, he played through all of that. Even I'm saying if he got shot up with dope. Like, he played through all of it. Like, he excelled. Like, he did what he needed to do. There was one run in the second half where he ran for, like, 30 yards. And he was going slow. I could have ran him.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, you could tell the difference because, like, a healthy Patrick Mahomes runs like a Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, whereas this Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, he was more of like a Captain Jack. Sparrow. So, like, running with the football.
It was like a mix of Captain Jack and Eli Manning.
Yes, exactly. So you could tell he was hobbling around. It was a little bit funny to watch him run, but he was putting it out there all on the line.
Dude, you could tell, yeah. He had the Captain Jack run. He did. Because he couldn't put like 100% of his weight on his ankles, so he had to like high step it down.
He's high stepping and then like looking back at the defenders, chasing him down.
Hey, he didn't really slide very much. He went down. He took hits, baby.
Yep.
Like, I mean, obviously it's the Super Bowl. You go all out, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that was about it for me.
Great fucking game. Let's get to other news in the NFL. My favorite is Derek Carr is now a free agent, and I think that like he between him and the Saints, I think it was on purpose. I think he wants to, like, they didn't want to do a trade, so the Saints talked to him and was like, hey, we're going to pick you up. Let him release you. We're going to pick you up as a free agent. It's going to be much easier for us and for everybody else.
Some collusion by the Saints.
100%.
Some collusion. They were like, hey, look, we really we can't afford
legal collusion.
Legal collusion, obviously. But yeah, like we can't afford to trade, some of our assets. We got to rebuild some of our team. Like, hey, we're going to just tell you, tell you to not accept any trades from anybody. Is going to make it look like you're not very interested in the Saints. And then whenever you get released, we'll just sign you and negotiate a contract, which they were already going to do if they got traded.
I don't know if it looked like that he wasn't into the Saints because it seemed pretty obvious because that shit came out right after he met with the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think it
fooled the media for a second.
It did fool the media. It did. I wasn't fooled. I stayed woke. I was very awake on this.
Gotcha.
But yeah, what would you like to have Derek Carr?
Oh, absolutely.
I could probably convince myself that we could win a Super Bowl by. So, like, if let's just say hypothetically we pick up Derek, we sign Derek Carr within like the next week or two. Okay, from the next week or two till the start of the season, I could convince myself that we will win the Super Bowl with Derek Carr. I think I could because I still think that we're going to have the same core of a team. I know DeMario Davis is kind of old, but I think he's still a fucking monster. He played very well last year.
Yep. I
think, like, I don't know what Michael Thomas's situation is. We need to get rid of him, but. Like we'll put some receivers around him. I think I think I could convince myself. I can't right now, but I think I can convince myself by the start of the regular season next year.
Yeah, no, it's intriguing. It's intriguing, and like worst comes to worst, he's like a bridge quarterback. So you got like the high ceiling of like him maybe actually performing, balling out. Like he did at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Or, you got that potential of like, hey, he's just a bridge quarterback while we acquire some other assets, build up the team, and then draft a quarterback.
Get through this next draft.
Yes.
That's essentially he's just a bridge quarterback to get through next draft. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
No, what I'm saying is that's his floor,
That's his floor.
That's his floor is like a bridge quarterback, and then, his ceiling, hey, maybe some potential.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. See, I'm not good at looking at the floor. I go to the ceiling is the roof.
Josh is just looking up the entire time.
Dude, the sky is the limit, baby. I'm like Michael Jordan. The ceiling is the roof.
Yeah. Straight hype. Just no realistic. He's not a realism type of guy or
just optimistic as fuck.
Straight hype.
All hype. Let's see. So the Eagles lose their defensive and offensive coordinator. Let's point that out.
Yes.
So Jonathan Gannon goes to the Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
He was their defensive coordinator, and Shane Steichen goes to the Colts.
Yeah.
I think Shane Steichen is a better hire for the Colts than Jonathan Gannon is for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, what he was able to do with that offense, they were just a well-balanced attack.
It was, and it was that way all season. Now, again, you can say what you will, and I will say what I will about the teams that the Eagles played. They had in my opinion, they had the weakest schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, like, I had respect for the Eagles after this game because they played so fucking well against a very, very good Kansas City team.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I actually, like, I know I said, Chiefs by double digits all the time, but I actually thought that the Chiefs were going to win by double digits just because I sincerely thought the Eagles were frauds.
Okay.
But they're not. They're not. And a lot of it was due to these offensive and defensive coordinators. I just think that the Cardinals needed somebody that could work with Kyler Murray because they're paying him so much fucking money.
That's very true. That's very true. But let me put a little spin zone here. Is this a diss on Nick Sirianni?
How so?
So, like, you don't see, like, teams poaching off, like, Kansas City coordinators, right? because basically it's like, oh, that's just Andy Reid's system.
Okay.
So, like, they went straight to Eagles, like, Eagles team poached both their offense and defensive coordinator, maybe a little disrespect to Nick Sirianni, being like, oh, it was because of his coordinators why they performed so well this year. Rather than Nick Sirianni. Little spin zone.
So a little disrespect towards Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
They think that the only reason he was so successful is because of those two.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think a lot of it has to do with the players that Philadelphia had on the field. Because if you look up and down, like those defensive and often both Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen, look at what they had to fucking work with. Mm-hmm. Like when your like worst defensive lineman is Ndamukong Suh.
Yep.
Like you have a stacked fucking team.
Who, mind you, was generational talent at Nebraska and at Detroit.
Yes, and I mean he's still really good. That just goes to show you how good that team was. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what? It could be disrespect to Sirianni. I think Sirianni is just he might know that hey, the reason why they're so good is because of the team that like I put together, and that, or not, maybe not that he put together, but the team that they had. Yeah, Howie Roseman. Yes.
Yeah. So. I don't know. It makes me kind of want to pull for Nick Sirianni a little bit.
When he cried during the Chris Stapleton national anthem, I was like, man, this guy, he's got it.
Yep.
He's him.
Yep.
He's got that, and like he did come up short in the Super Bowl, dude. I hate that I'm like starting to like the fucking Eagles right now, dude. This is not good. I don't like this. Don't like it at all.
Right.
Fuck Nick Sirianni. Fuck the fucking Eagles. All right.
Okay.
I did have a little bit of compassion on him whenever he cried.
Well, that's your pronouns, right?
Yeah. If you see, like my pronouns are, fuck the Eagles. Anyways. I almost fucking wow! I almost liked the Eagles there for a second.
I know you were close there. Almost had you there.
Wow, you did.
I was reeling you in. I don't even care about it about the Eagles. I just was going to see how far I could take you.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a little Philadelphia frauds recap. Okay. Detroit beat the bottom 5 defense by 3. Vikings, Kirk Cousins in primetime. Washington beat Carson Wentz. Jaguars beat Trevor Lawrence before he remembered how to play quarterback. Cardinals beat Cardinals without Hopkins or a kicker. Cowboys beat Cooper Rush. Pittsburgh Steelers beat bottom 3 team that at the time. Beat the Texans. Struggle versus a 3-13-1 Texans. Washington again lost to Taylor Heineke at home. Colts beat a 4-12-1 Colts by 1 point. Green Bay beat Packers by 1 score despite Aaron Rodgers leaving due to injury. Tennessee Titans beat Titans in the middle of their 7-game losing streak. New York Giants beat Daniel Jones. Chicago Bears barely beat literally the worst team in the NFL. Dallas Cowboys lost after Dak dropped 40 on them. Saints lost to Andy Dalton at home by double digits. And then you had the Giants, San Fran, and then choked 10-point fourth quarter lead in the Super Bowl. Back to hating the fucking Eagles. There we go.
Okay. Okay, Josh is back.
We're good. Anyways. All right. So Sean Payton's already recruiting Gronk. It's about the last thing I have for NFL news.
The NFL news, yeah. Yeah, it's a good effort. He's I know he's trying to do the flashy Sean McVay, like recruit everybody type of mentality. It's interesting. He didn't do that. He wasn't kind of big on that during the Saints, so he's trying a new little philosophy. We'll see how it works. Probably won't.
He had Drew Brees.
Yeah, Drew Brees.
That's always what I go. That's always what I resort to.
Yeah. I guess the other hires, the Saints did bring on Joe Woods as a defensive coordinator. That one's just like hey, I guess he's trying to revive his career a little bit, and then also like just give a little assistance to Dennis Allen, but it's still going to be Dennis Allen's defense.
That's what I'm saying. I think he just hired him because he was like, "Hey, Joe Woods, I'm calling the defense. You're just going to be a puppet."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what was it? For being Saints fans, I want to say maybe the first 7 years of Sean Payton's tenure, I didn't know who the actual offensive coordinator was, like Pete Carmichael.
Yeah,
I did not realize he actually existed.
No, nobody did.
Yeah, I think it wasn't until Sean Payton was actually suspended that we actually figured out who the offensive coordinator actually was.
Oh yeah, that was Bountygate.
Yep, Bountygate.
Good old Greg Williams, Dr. Heat, dialing up the heat.
Yeah.
$40,000 worth of heat.
Steve Wilkes got hired on as the defense coordinator for 49ers. I think that was a great replacement for DeMeco Ryans.
I agree. That's awesome. They're going to have a great – I mean, they have talent up and down. I don't think they're going to have to get rid of anybody. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to get rid of people.
Yep.
This was their Super Bowl year.
Well, they gotta pay Hurts now.
They got to pay Hurts, and – people I think Travis or Jason Kelsey's gonna retire. That's what everybody's saying. And they gotta pay they gotta pay a bunch of different pieces on that team. So we'll see how that works out. Nick Sirianni's got his work cut out for him. New defense coordinator, new offensive coordinator, pretty much new team. They're putting all their money in on Jalen Hurts, which I don't think is a good idea. I think Jalen Hurts should take a pay cut, but we'll see.
Yep. And then the last one I have is Baltimore moves on from Greg Roman. This will be the first time there's another offensive coordinator for Lamar Jackson. They hired Todd Monken. I think it's Monken.
Monken?
Yeah, as the offensive coordinator who was the last 2 years at Georgia, University of Georgia. So that's going to be an interesting hire. Should be a lot more passing, maybe a lot more play action rollouts, bootlegs.
Let's hope he can. Let's hope Lamar Jackson can throw the fucking ball.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So I don't think Greg Roman got enough respect for what he did because he is a good offensive coordinator.
You think so?
I think so personally. I mean, I thought he did wonders with Colin Kaepernick. I don't think Colin Kaepernick does what he does for his Super Bowl
without
run.
Greg Roman.
But that might be an unpopular opinion, but that's about it I have on the coaching hires.
Okay. All right, let's get to OTDISH on this day in sports history. Joe, you want to go through your we'll do actually you start. Yeah, you let's go through your 3 and then I'll go through my 2.
Yep. So 1951, Sugar Ray Robinson defeats Jay LaMotta and takes the middleweight belt.
Sugar Ray
title.
I love that name.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that goes back to our nicknames. You gotta have a nickname. Elite, all elite players have a nickname.
Yep. What else you got?
I got and we'll go early or quite recently with 2019. Westbrook had the 11th consecutive triple-double game, set the NBA record.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Like he is a cancer. He's a cancer. We can go over this in the NBA when we get to the NBA. He's a cancer. He's I wouldn't even say selfish player because he gets so many assists, but like he just the game's all about him. Mm-hmm. It's all about him. I don't think having 11 triple-doubles in a row is a good thing.
Yeah. Which one? We can go on to yours next.
No, you got one more. Do the Wilt Chamberlain one.
Gotcha. All right, 1966, Wilt Chamberlain breaks the NBA career scoring record at 20,884 points. Brought that one up because kind of given what LeBron just did.
Yep, LeBron broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's.
Yeah, and actually, I watched the film for that, black and white. He actually did it while shooting free throws, and it was underhanded style.
Oh, granny shot.
The granny shot style of free throws. He did not throw his arms up in the air and go up and down around the court. Basically, they had a slip of paper that he had to sign, brought out to him on the free throw line, and I guess the commissioner, I think some guy in a suit, came up with the basketball and took a picture with him.
Oh, he didn't make it all about himself.
No, he did not.
Okay, he didn't take the microphone and start talking about stuff. He didn't jump around the court or anything like that.
No. It was pretty subtle.
He had class.
Yeah.
It was classy.
Classy. Very classy.
Oh, okay. All right, good for Will. So I had in 1960, this is the second Daytona 500 ever. Junior Johnson, JJ, my boy JJ.
JJ.
He survives a 37 car crash on turn 4 to win while he was driving a Chevrolet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
37.
That's wild. In 2018, Shaun White wins an unprecedented third Olympic half-pipe gold medal at the Pyeongchang Winter Games.
What was that again?
Pyeongchang.
Nice.
I want to go to Pyeongchang one day. I feel
Right.
like it's a nice city. But yeah, Shaun White's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT snowboarder. He's the best of all time. He's never gonna be. I don't think. Unless there's some prodigy that's born, nobody's gonna touch him. He was he was light years better than everyone else.
Yes.
It wasn't even close, especially in the mid 2000s. Not even close. Okay. Let's do. I know we said, like, on this day in sports history, but we said we were gonna do one on this day in history.
Okay.
Change it up a bit. For mine, on this day in 1929, this is a Valentine's Day thing. It was the St. Valentine's Day massacre in Chicago. 7 people. So I looked this up. I had to dive deep into it. So Al Capone, obviously, he was a gangster, and he had rival gangsters. This was in Chicago. So this was basically a statement. He had 4 guys, 2 of them dressed up as cops, basically lead 7 other guys from a different gang to a wall and executed them. So 2 of them had Thompson guns. They just whacked them right then and there. And it was to send a message. It was during Prohibition, so obviously there was a lot of alcohol sales going on under, behind closed doors. So like this was to send a message to the other gangsters in Chicago to fuck off. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what that was. And it was Al Capone's way of doing it.
You think he threw them off by doing it on Valentine's Day?
I don't know.
They were worried about their significant other trying to get things planned out, and then it was like,
just ruined it. They thought they were going to get laid that night, and Al Capone was like, no.
You're going to get laid out.
Yeah, that's exactly. It was red. There was red all over the place.
Yes. Yeah, I guess he kept with the theme.
Yeah, it was nice. Al Capone, say what you will. He's a little bit of he had a creative side to him.
Yes.
All right, let's not talk about that anymore.
All right, 1992. Switch your numbers around.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Great fucking movie.
Yep, fantastic movie. Premiered, and it was actually based off of a SNL sketch.
It really?
Yeah. So, kind of, I guess, typical, like the, because we've had some movies like that, like Night at the Roxbury.
Yep, that's true. Good old
I feel like
MacGruber
MacGruber was.
Was MacGruber?
No, I think that actually was based off that TV show, too.
I think it was based on a TV show.
They did do some skits with MacGruber, too.
Well, but also, Will Forte, he was fucking hilarious in that movie.
Oh, I absolutely love that movie.
You love that man.
I do. Me and Matt Forte, we go way back.
Will Forte? Matt Forte was
Will
great.
Forte, yeah.
Matt Forte was great on my fantasy team back in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, this was a sports podcast. I'm mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah. No, I get it. I see where your brain's at. Yeah, Will Forte. Will Forte's great. He's so funny. He was hilarious in Beer Fest. He was in How I Met Your Mother. He's in all sorts of stuff. But yeah, MacGruber was it was a good one. All right, let's get to the NBA. So it seemed like so long ago because like we just have the worst luck with timing because we had the trade deadline like literally the day after we put out this podcast. Mm-hmm. This was one of the best trade deadlines I've ever seen. Like it was all right. Let's put it this way: it was one of the busiest trade deadlines I've ever seen.
Yeah, I guess everybody says that. I don't know. I feel like we had one the year before as well, but this one was very busy.
It was so busy.
It was busy.
Let's get to the biggest one. KD to the Suns.
Yes.
Okay, so for everybody who hasn't heard, the Suns sent Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 first-round picks and a 2028 pick swap to the Brooklyn Nets for Kevin Durant and T.J. Warren.
Well, this was a part of a. I guess this was. Hold on a second. So like I can go along with this being the craziest just because they're just obnoxious. These obnoxious 4 and 3 team trades all over the place.
Right?
Yes.
The multi-team trades that happened this year were absolutely wild because like in the amount of time that they put these all together because like Jay Crowder's not on the Nets anymore. So like that trade happened after this trade happened. Like this was the way they were able to work all these out so quickly was insane. Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's talk about the KD to the Suns. I mean, you're basically you got 4 players. That's it. You traded away your bench if you're the Suns, and like you're relying on an injury-prone 35-year-old in Kevin Durant. You have Chris Paul, who's old as fuck. Mm-hmm. You have DeAndre Ayton. Okay, DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker. I got those. I got those two. Those guys. They're young. They're very, very, very talented. But then you don't have a bench. Like, I don't know. They have to have an identity change. Like, in order for this to work, they have to completely rearrange their identity. I think they're going to have some growing pains if they even get it worked out.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, Mikal Bridges, a huge contributor. So was Cam Johnson as well.
And Jay Crowder.
And Jay Crowder. So, like, yeah. I mean... You're definitely right. They definitely went all out for the superstar starting lineup, and I just don't know. Yeah, I mean, you do have to have a bench. Like
you do.
Like the starters have to rest at some point.
Yeah, and then like a lot of them when they get fatigued, they don't perform as well. Mm-hmm. So like you can leave them out on the field. I mean, they'll do the James Harden where they'll do the active rest, but they won't play defense.
Yeah, it was basically this was the only way to get a superstar like Kevin Durant, and they just sold their everything for it.
They sold their souls.
They sold everything for it that they could possibly make this trade without giving up their big 3.
Yes, and honestly, DeAndre Ayton and we've talked about this. We talked about this last year. There was buzz around them trading DeAndre Ayton, mm-hmm. and I was like, no. Don't trade DeAndre Ayton. He is very, 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 very good. He's still very young, and he's like a good core.
Yeah.
Like, and then you throw in now. Granted, they could possibly do very well with Kevin Durant. Like they could mesh very well. They could be like, hey, this guy has proven in the NBA. He's done well at Brooklyn. Like literally a month ago, Brooklyn was second or tied for second in the East. Mm-hmm. So like the fact that they just like completely imploded, that's a completely different story. But like nobody wanted to fucking I guess nobody wanted to fucking play for the Nets anymore. I don't know what happened. Like they were just, like I said, they were second a month ago in the East. I don't get it. But we'll see how this turns out. I mean, they got Cam Thomas's. Our boy fucking Cam Thomas stepped up to the plate big time, baby.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Big time. 4 40-point games, bro. Like, the guy can ball. I don't know, like, what we did with him at LSU. I guess Will Wade didn't, like, unlock his full potential.
I think I was frustrated because they always hyped him up, but they tried to do too much isolation with him. And you got to work the offense to cater to him. You can't just like I don't know, especially with a young player like that because he was a true freshman. You want to create some open shots for him. You know, don't make him have to create his own open shots because as you can see, he is a fluid shooter. You know, so like, but the thing is, he still has to develop a little bit of his dribbling game. So, you know, to create his own shots, like. You know, they tried to force him to create his own shots by himself, whereas I feel like Brooklyn's creating an offense around him.
Yeah, and he's been doing great. He's still tearing it up. Let's see. So the Bucks end up getting Jay Crowder for 5 second-round picks from the Nets. 5 second-round picks. That means nothing.
Yeah, it's just
That means nothing.
Yeah,
but I think it'd be a great fit for the Bucks. I think Like when the Bucks have all of those players, they're going to be lethal again.
Yeah,
Not saying they weren't, but
I think Jay Crowder fits right into the Bucks philosophy.
I
think it's a great pickup.
I agree. Let's see. Let's get to Russ Westbrook to the Jazz. This was, I gotta talk about this picture I saw. It's basically the last 5 years of Russell Westbrook's 2017 extension. So he played for the Thunder. He got an extension in 2017. Year 1, a 5-year extension. Year 1, played for the Thunder. Year 2, got traded to the Rockets. Year 3, got traded to the Wizards. Year 4, got traded to the Lakers. And now year 5, got traded to the Jazz. Cancer. Like, that is the very definition of a cancer to a team. Nobody fucking wants him.
Yeah.
And he's supposedly that fucking good.
Yeah. I had a quick actually switch on Russell Westbrook. I used to hate him, yeah, but then I heard about his bubble story. I don't know if you heard about it, where he tipped all the service people over like $50K during that time.
No,
apparently he's a pretty class act.
He's a class act.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
right, well,
I
good
I don't
for
know.
him. I'm going to judge him based on his performance on the court, which is actually fucking awesome. But none of his teams fucking win.
Yeah,
and he keeps getting traded, so he can't be that class.
Well, obviously, the performance on this court is what matters. So we all knew that he wasn't going to work out at LA.
Yeah,
we all knew that.
We did call that. That was the most obvious take of all time.
Because you remember how they tried to force it, how oh yeah, LeBron's like, oh, we're gonna work, we'll show you, and it's like, no, y'all aren't. No. Just wait until the actual grind of the season comes in.
Yeah. I think Russell Westbrook thrives the most when he's the only good player on the team.
Yeah.
Let's see. We had D'Angelo Russell get to the Lakers. Mike Conley to Minnesota. D'Angelo Russell back to the Lakers is perfect. I think that's awesome. I think they basically got a second tier version of Russell Westbrook. Just he's obviously not near as good.
D'Angelo Russell?
Yeah.
He can have some good games.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he's nowhere near Russell Westbrook. But he also doesn't have the personality of Russell Westbrook as well. So I think he's going to mesh better.
Yeah, I still think agree with that.
The Lakers are going to suck, but
I honestly, I'll take this time to it's to find it how I find it funny that there's so many trades in the NBA that teams are just getting recycled back to their old teams.
Yeah, it all comes full circle.
Yeah, like D'Angelo Russell going back to the Lakers, George Hill going back to the Pacers, John Wall going back to the Rockets, Dinwiddie going back to the Nets. Mm-hmm. It's just there's so many trades that these guys are just now getting recycled back to their old teams.
Yeah. Mike Conley to Minnesota. I think that's actually pretty good because they're I think they're still a relatively young team. I don't know. In my brain, Minnesota's always a young team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but it's nice when you have that leadership from an older guy.
Yeah, well, Anthony Edwards is still pretty young.
Cat
acts like he's young.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to think of some other ball players, but yeah, Mike Conley can be a veteran presence there.
Uh-huh. So what do you think about that three team trade? It was good.
Yeah, I mean, Lakers wanted to get Russ off the books, so obviously that was it. Timberwolves get that experience. They also got Mikal Alexander-Walker, who's a nice little bench player as well.
Yep.
And then the Jazz end up getting Russ. They can probably rework that contract if they want. I think they're rebuilding for the future, which they got the 2027 first round pick from the Lakers. So, which actually might bode pretty well because by that time LeBron's probably gone.
Gone for sure. All right, let's get through the rest of these fairly quickly. The Knicks send Cam Reddish and protected future first round pick to the Blazers for Josh Hart. Love it. You got Josh Hart and Jesus Christ, why can't I? Jalen Brunson. All both Villanova guys back on back together.
Yeah, that was cool.
I think it was great. I think Cam Reddish is a good guy. He's a good player. He was good at Duke. I just think Josh Hart is solid. I think that was a good pickup for that Knicks team. That's actually doing fairly well.
And if I saw correctly, that actually ended up being another 14 form team trade at the end of the day. It's unbelievable. That's the crazy part about this year.
Yeah, that's true. It was just like the fact that there was just so many teams involved in each trade. It is impressive.
Yep, it was a 4-team transaction.
Jeez. Let's see. We had Lakers sent Pat Beverly and a second-round pick to Orlando for Mo Bamba. I don't know why that was a thing. I don't understand it. Can you make sense of it?
I did not. It was sad to see, Pat Beverly get excited for D'Angelo Russell getting over there and teaming up, and then they just send him off for Mo Bamba, for a song, basically.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't get it.
And, of course, another 14 trade.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know.
I mean, hey, when you want Mo Bamba.
When you want a song.
When you want Mo Bamba played.
Houston gets John Wall.
Yep.
Again, full circle. Houston, but they also send Eric Gordon to the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers can be fixed. I think they're broken.
Yeah.
Like obviously they're not the worst team in the NBA, but I think they're broken.
Yeah, they're trying to get upgrade with their 3-point shooting and a little bit more multiple scoring with Eric Gordon, but I don't know. He's more like he's old now.
Yeah,
he's like in the tail of his career. I don't know how much I like that one. And then they did 3 second-round picks, so
yeah, that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
The Spurs sent Josh Richardson to the Pels. We didn't need Josh Richardson.
Well, I think
he's another like 6'8", 6'9" fucking forward.
I think
that was plenty of them.
I think that was more not on acquiring Josh Richardson. It was more of getting Devontae Graham off the books because that was a terrible contract.
Yes, that was a bad contract. You're right.
So
I figured we could get somebody else besides Josh Richardson. We have enough of those. We have plenty of them.
David Griffin, he likes those like lanky, long
forwards.
Yes. That can maybe play multiple positions. And like, oh yeah, you're athletic and lanky and long. Like when everybody has their wingspan out, it's like you can't pass on us.
No. I'll find a way to get excited about it. But the Pistons send Kevin Knox to the Warriors in a 3-team deal, another multi-team deal that gets the Pistons James Wiseman. I like James Wiseman a lot. Kevin Knox to the Warriors is good. Yeah.
That about highlights all the big ones, big trades, but yeah, that was nuts. So many. It's just so many like multiple team trades, like
all over the place.
It just you almost get lost with it.
Yeah, like I mean, kudos to the NBA. I don't know who runs the fucking trade deadline, but because they have to talk to the NBA, like they have to talk to the NBA and get it approved. By all teams. Obviously, both teams have to approve of it, and then the NBA has to approve of it. So they get all that shit done, all that within that 24-hour span.
You can tell that general manager, we're getting to that generation of general managers that played 2K a shitload when they were growing up.
All they do is play 2K.
And basically, so all these, when you play 2K, you love doing the trade generator.
Yes. And, it's the best part.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, like these guys are just doing these like obnoxious trade because they've been practicing all their lives.
Yeah.
With 2K.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I mean, they've gotten really good at it.
Exactly.
I agree. We got the All-Star break coming up. I'll still watch the dunk contest, even though I'll tell myself I won't.
I'll look forward to the 3-point contest. We'll have Damian Lillard's back in.
Yep, that's good.
So is Buddy Hield. He's looking for another back-to-back win.
Nice.
And then what was it? Buddy Hield's teammate on Indianapolis, Halliburton.
Albert.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. And then Afrini Simmons from a teammate of Portland's going to be in it, and a couple other guys.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. We'll have to watch it just so we can recap it.
Yep.
Let's see. You got anything else on the NBA?
That's about it.
Let's go to other news. The only other news I had is so we were wrong about Texas and OU being scared. They want out of the Big 12.
Yeah.
$100 million worth out of the Big 12.
It really just kind of reminded me of like when you break up with like your significant other or something like that, but you all still live in the same house. Like that would have been that way for like the next 2 years. Like they're breaking up, they're broken up, but they're still living with each other, and like there was so much arguing going back and forth.
There's a lease on the house or they have a lease on the apartment or house or something or duplex, so they can't really break it. They're not in a situation where they can just move out.
No.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. So
it was very toxic.
So that's in a sense that's just like that couple. One of the people paid the rest of the money for the rest of the year.
Yeah, except the rent for this one was $100 million.
$100 million. Yeah. So they just wanted out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna have Texas and OU in not next year, but the year after.
Yeah, not this upcoming season, but the year after.
I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, it's going to be – I mean, the SEC is going to be a juggernaut. It's basically going to be the SEC and Big Ten. Yep. It's a good thing that they're expanding it to 12 teams because otherwise nobody else would get it.
No, and they're picking up a couple of Pac-12 teams in the Big Ten. I think USC and
UCLA.
Yep. So that'll be fun. You got anything else?
I think that wraps it up.
Alrighty, we will see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Later.